What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I can't stand in cold temperatures too long or my nose is going to turn red. So that's just a little fun fact about me. But I want to talk about 5 ways not to give narcissists supply and what you can expect from them, when they're going through their supply withdrawals. One of the ways not to give the narcissist supply is by giving them the gray rock. You can also call it the silent treatment, the same thing that they give us, except we're doing it for different reasons. They're doing it for punishment. We're doing it for peace of mind. That's a way not to give them supply. Another way not to give narcissists supply is to reject the hoover. Reject anything that they offer to you. Narcissists get so desperate, to come back into your life. They just would offer you random things. They'll go and get something out of the trash and try to shine it up to present to you, as something that they put so much thought into, just to gift you so that they can, just get some supply off you, just to have. If you accept things from narcissists, basically that's giving them supply. The third thing is the love bombing. When you on that fresh level of separation, heading into a full-blown breakup with a narcissist, you don't want to accept the love bombing because they're going to come back sooner or later trying to get you back. And you have to pay attention to how narcissists plead and beg you for a second chance. They plead and beg you because it's something that they have to have, like a drug. They just have to have you back. They're basically letting you know you are a good source of supply, and they can't live without you. They can't do without you. So basically, they're just telling you that they're no good, without you. So give them a second chance. Reject it. Reject the love bombing and reject the hoovering. The fourth thing is, not so much as, well, it kind of goes with the gray rock method. But when a narcissist, like I mentioned this on yesterday, they expect you to kind of cater to them because you have them spoiled, because you're this nice person, you're caring, you're considerate. They'll use excuses like, oh, I'm having so much pain in my knee. It's hard to get up and move, away from my station. It's hard to go, down to the, down to the fridge and get my lunch. You think you can give me a hand and bring me, they need some type of supply from you. And by you giving them little small favors is a source of supply. Always come up with an excuse why you can't do it. My hands are full. I'm busy at the moment. Or I was just about to go and take care of something else. But don't always be quick to give them a helping hand because you're giving them supply. It's all about them feeling good for the moment. Even if they know that they can't have you, that cat scared the crap out of me. Even if they know that, and see, this is right next to the wooded area by my house. And there's a cat coming. 5. Okay, y'all, so sorry about that. I was getting a call. Also, I decided to just come inside and finish the video because it's way too hot to sit in the car. So I was on number 3, but let me refresh. Okay, so we're talking about 5 reasons how not to give the narcissist supply. Number 1 is communication. So you want a gray rock. You want a gray rock as much as possible along with the boundaries. Number 2 is hoovering. You want to, reject any hoover, any type of, just any type of engagement with a narcissist. Number 3 is the love bombing. Of course, you want to reject the love bombing when dealing with a narcissistic ex, because they're going to come bearing gifts and trying to get you back with just any little thing that they can think of, with random gifts, things that they know you not to even care about, but they're desperate for supply. That supply is like drugs to them, and they need that high. They will do pretty much anything just to get a sniff of you again. So don't accept the love bombing, don't accept the hoovering and gray rock. Number 4 is arguing. Narcissists will try to get some type of communication out of you, even if they completely make up a lie, just something to get a response out of you. They just need to hear your voice, and they don't care if you're screaming at the top of your lungs. They don't care. They need to get something out of you. I've had that happen to me before. I remember I was driving from work and I was in traffic. And y'all know that feeling when you just stuck in traffic. Traffic is at a standstill and you can see it miles ahead. And then he decides to call my phone, just picking with me. And when he called, now this was back before I realized, that he was a narc and stuff like that. But I had already, limited the communication with him because he's just not an easy person to deal with. And we had been broken up. We were never able to communicate, without it turning into an argument, which was all his fault looking back at it, because that's what he had planned. That's what he was trying to get out of me. He just refused to just let me be at peace, and let's just move on. But I didn't know that he was a narc. He know what he was doing. I didn't know, and I always fell for it. And before you know it, I'm screaming, and I'm almost losing my voice, and my throat is hurting, and my heart is racing, and I'm just feeling away. On top of that, I'm stuck in traffic. I'm aggravated. I'm frustrated. I'm in tears. It's just everything, all balled up in one big thing of mess. And, he's the cause of it because this is what he needs. He needs supply. And the type of supply they want out of you is something that's going to give them a feeling to where they know that they can, they know that they can get that out of you, and they get a kick out of things like that, having you to come out of your character and show a side of you that you don't want to do. They hate to see you in your comfort zone because they are so unstable. It's just like they hate to see other people at peace. So they just have to disrupt your peace just for a moment and just to get something out of you, and it's just crazy. That's the way they think. And when this happened with me and him, it's just like I was just screaming and he had already hung the phone up. But he would call me and start with me, and he would say things just out of the blue. Like, I'm not going to be too long with this story, but I remember that his ex-wife's sister, she sold Avon, and I used to buy Avon from her. Well, we end up, becoming friends and, hanging out and socializing a lot and just stuff like that. And we would talk about pretty much everything. And the conversation would always lead back to him because her and her family noticed something very toxic about him. And I was able to vent. And it feels good to be able to talk to someone who recognizes these red flags in a narcissist, even though you can't really put your finger on it and know what to call it, but we both shared the same opinion about him. And she knew what her sister went through when she was with him. So he had remarried. And by her going to pick up her nephew, she would also socialize with his new wife. So they would talk, and somehow it came up about the information I had shared with her, the ex-sister-in-law. And so he called me to so-called check me about it, like, don't be talking. Why are you talking to my ex-sister-in-law, but of course he would say her name because he couldn't stand her, about my wife. And you talking about my wife. And I'm like, first of all, let me stop you in your tracks. And I just was like ready, just on ready, because he came at me with false information. Find out the facts before you run your mouth. And I would always tell him that. But he already knew it. See, I didn't know then that he was just picking with me just to get some type of reaction, because he knew that I had found someone that I can vent to. And it's like exposing him. And of course, narcissists hate to be exposed. That's one of their biggest fears. So it's just like, and he just wanted to warn me, and don't do that. And I would get this person to, to get after you. They would threaten you to get other people to hurt you. They wouldn't necessarily put it in those words, but they would warn you in a way that lets you know this person is very dangerous and you don't want to mess with me because I will get them on you. That's how narcissists are. They're not going to necessarily say, look, I'll hurt you. I'll do this. I'll do that. And the threats are very minimum when it comes out of their mouth. But when you know what the narc is really trying to say, when you have that discernment that your intuition is telling you this is a threat and this is not something that I should take lightly. When they say things, they mean it. They want to put you on edge to where you're looking over your shoulder and constantly thinking about it. They want to get inside your mind and control you and have you wondering and worrying about stuff. And you're not going to get it off your mind because it's a threat. But the whole while, it's like they will really put someone against you. They always use the guard dogs. They need to put people up against you. So they find all type of ways to get reactions out of you, in response, because it gives them supply. So number 4, do not engage in arguing with them. Don't give them that back and forth moment that they desperately seek. They're doing that in the spur of the moment to pick with you because they've noticed how silent things have been and they can't stand the silence. They need to shake it up a little bit. And they need that dysfunction in their life because that's all they're used to. So silence is not normal to them. It messes with their mind because now they're hearing all type of things. And, it just doesn't sit well with them. So they got to do something, to fade out the thoughts of their conscience probably telling them, you shouldn't do that. But they're so emotionally unstable. It's like they push forward to do things, just to pick with you, just to get you to feel a way that, gives them a response to show that, okay, you can still get to me. They look at you and they see your new life and they see the way things are going for you. You're at peace. Things are going well for you. And it's like they just want to pick with you and know that they can still get to you. And they're desperate enough to do pretty much anything to prove that to themselves. So that's number 4. Y'all know I had to just throw that little example in there. And, number 5 is pretty much just all of it. It's just like, don't engage with them. Like, don't go after them. Just don't go after them trying to, reconcile. And after so much time has went by, because you might not get hoovering. You might not get any love bombing. You might not get any of that. They might not call and pick with you. They may not start, fake drama to put people against you. They may not smear you. You might be out of sight, out of mind to certain narcissists. But when you see them, don't engage. Like, things have been going so well for me. I've just been wondering how you've been. I think back sometimes, when I go to the park, how we would always go to this spot. Have you seen it lately? They've remodeled it, stuff like that. Just don't bother, go on with your life. There's so many more people in the world to meet, people that you're going to come across to think back to just that one person who bring you good memories. Create your own new memories. You don't have to look back in the past with the narc and feel that they were your end all be all, because those are the only feelings that make you feel a way. They give you butterflies, they make you feel happy, and then you get sad at the fact that, well, dang, maybe I was wrong, and maybe they were the one for me. We were just toxic. Like, don't reconcile anything with a narcissist. Don't give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't start to question your judgment on if you should have closed it out on something toxic. You know how it made you feel. And I'm talking about like constantly. Not like a person like myself, because I am a sensitive person. But you would know just by going through the experience in a relationship for a long term, or experiencing something like that in a toxic household with someone, or even family members, or in the workplace. You're gonna know. You're gonna know when it was something that you wanted to escape, something that just weren't good for your spirit. And now that you're at peace, you know what it feels like, and you know that you want to stay there forever. So don't think that just don't overthink about the past with the narcissist. Just move forward. If they weren't trying to find you and stalk you down and just do all these horrible things to you, just let it go, because you can have a long-term relationship. Like, for instance, that's my situation right now. Like, he don't really bother me. It's very, 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 very seldom. The last time it was with the car situation, which is why I put the GoFundMe up, because I'm like, you're not going to keep doing this. I don't care if it is just once every 6 months. You're not going to mess with me through my child, my son, to get to me and say, you know what, because the car is in both our names. Yes, he co-signed for me to get that car that's hard for me to get out of. But it was a different time. I was in a different place then. I wasn't thinking. I didn't know who he is, And it's like, yeah, that's what he used to keep himself attached to me. He's going to use that. And that's the only thing now that's keeping us to where I have to communicate at times, And it's just like you have to brace yourself for those moments, because after so much time has went by, don't think that the narc has changed, because they haven't. It's just a matter of time before you start to see, that mask slip and they show you who they are, So just don't give them the benefit of the doubt. That's just something that they don't deserve. And he do it every now and then. He don't do it on a regular basis, but he do it because that's just what they do. They just need to know that they can get to you sometimes. They need to know they can get a response out of you. And the way that you react is what gives them supply. So those are the 5 ways not to give narcissists supply. When I do communicate with him, I keep it, very low level communication. And when you do that, that enhances the chances of them giving you very minimum, disruption. Like, you don't want them to just blow up and go off the deep edge, just to ruin your day. Because they can do that if you allow them to. Be careful with how you engage with them if you absolutely have to, because you don't know what you're going to get before, one thing for sure. You know how the narcissist is, who you had to deal with. So when you just think back to that and knowing that they're not going to change, you're going to pretty much get the same thing out of them, no matter how much time has passed. And so, that's why I just try to keep it to where, even though he's on my block list, my phone still notifies me when he has tried to reach out to me. He can't text me, but it'll let me know that he has attempted to call me. And I noticed that he always do it twice. Like, he's trying to make sure, like, he's, he just want to be certain, like, am I blocked before I start picking with her? So what I would do when me and my son would talk, I would be like, if you've been by your dad, because sometimes he go and do work with him because he flip houses. I'm like, you been by your dad? I wonder why he called my phone the other day or something like that. And he would always say, I don't, like, that's odd. I don't know why he would, because he already have a girlfriend. Like, what do you want? So I know that it has to do with a car. He just want to pick with me, especially knowing that he's blocked. He just want to pick with me and act like that he's stressed out because the car is still upside down and I'm, struggling to get the little $2,000 paid off on it, before it'll be my car and I will get the titles to it, so that's why he's picking with me. But I don't really let that bother me. I know what it is. I know what the signs to look for because I've been dealing with them for a very long time. And our serious committed relationship ended a very, very long time ago. I feel like it ended 20 years ago. And that's sad because it ended when the children were babies, but that wasn't something that I would prefer. I wanted to be married and have a family and, have more children, have our family to grow, have a big family. But I'm glad it didn't happen like that. I'm so glad that it didn't happen like that. So don't reconcile with the narc. Don't overthink and, reminisce to the point to where it makes you, it pushes you to make a decision to go and reach out to them. Don't do that. Just let things stay the way it is. Let that door stay closed. So I did not want to make this video that long. It's supposed to be quick. But those are the 5 reasons, 5 ways how you shouldn't give narcissist supply, but there are ways that you can, but you don't want to do these things. So I hope this video was helpful to anyone. I have another video coming up. Doesn't have anything to do with narcissism. Some of y'all might say, well, but I have another video coming up momentarily. So y'all look out for that. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.